So as you can see, it looks to be in pretty good shape. And it's complete from what I can tell, which is a good thing. We will have to do a little bit of fixing of the spring there from what I can see, but really not too bad. It's got a loose bolt or two in the rear. Just one right over here. We can... Oh, did it break off in there? I think it broke off. No, it didn't break off. I just got to do that. And we'll put a bolt in there. I see it was missing. So that might mean that this thing had a bent crankshaft or it was running wide open. It does have compression. I can tell that it has a lot of water in the cylinder somewhere. So I think that thing's been sitting outside for a while. One thing I'm learning about these gas caps is apparently they like to break. This one's not terrible, but they like to break right there. And so I might see about swapping the tank out, or I might just... I hate to leave it just as is, but it does kind of stay if you need it to. We'll see after I get it running how well it decides it wants to stay, because I just replaced another one with a good one that I had here. Air filter I think is pretty oiled up from what I can tell. Yeah, it's pretty oiled up. I don't think we'll be able to rinse it out. We'll see. It's better to be at oily than all corroded. Like I said, I think this is a 2012 model. It could be anywhere up to... it couldn't be newer than a 2013 because they changed the engines in 14. So let's see the year on this one. It's made by AYP, same as a Craftsman. So it is a 2013, 2/11/13. So the last year for the classic engine that they put on push mowers here in America. From what I have seen, I have not seen any newer. Date of manufacture for this engine though was January 2012, and it's a 9L602 12/01/11, so January 11th of 2012. So that's what it's got going for it. The handle, cable's good on it. Handle is a little loose, and it's got a bunch of different areas where it's moving back and forth, so I do need to fix that. Mostly fix the deal with the wheel mechanism moving back and forth, which that's a pretty easy fix. I think it's just a couple of 3/8 inch bolts that keep that secured. Not a good design, but it works, I guess. And then also I've got to figure out something to do with this handle here, because it's moving up and down quite a bit, as you can see. And it doesn't have any... I'm going to have to drill in here and secure a fastener to it. Neither of which are big deals. Let's check the blade. Gas looks like it's got a ton of oil in it. Check the blade on it. Blade actually looks okay for it to be a mower like this. Let's see if I can get down here. It's actually sharp enough to where I may not even have to worry about it. Decent lift on it still. So we'll see if it's got a bent crank, but I bet this thing's been running wide open because of the spring that's on it. So we'll have to find a spring, fix the handle, and purge all the water out of the system. Check the oil real quick while we're at it. I'm sure this thing's never seen an oil change. This thing will clean up pretty well though, I think. Let me put you on the tripod while I do this. Get some screwdrivers, or pliers. Jeez, really doesn't want to come off, does it? There we go. A little stubborn there. The oil kind of looks a little, I don't know if you call it gray, but it does look a little burnt. But it is full, so that's a good sign. It's got compression. Y'all probably like, just stop talking, see if it'll run. Okay, I'm hearing you. All right. So here's your, oh boy. This thing was running wide open. Here's your setup for your carb. So they wired it shut here. So this thing, if it does run, it will take off for a few seconds. I think it's got, like I said, I think it's got a ton of water in the carburetor. Seems like it's pumping okay, so I'll see what I can do there. Spray a little carb cleaner in there, and we'll get y'all out here, and I'm going to start it out here on the concrete pad. Literally water coming out of the exhaust. It's pretty bad, really bad actually. So we pretty much got straight water in the gas tank here. What I'll do, let me grab a spark plug, take this plug off, see if I can at least clean that up, see if we can at least get it to fire. Give me just a second. So I don't know if you can see, this plug's pretty bad off. So what I'm going to do, ton of water on it. Spray a little bit of carb cleaner in here. Hopefully it'll help negate some of that water. Spray some on the plug. Get it off of there. We'll plug it back in, see if we can get it to fire on what's in there. It doesn't take much for these classic Briggs engines to take off. So, and this one will take off, but again, I want to hear it run before I go any further, you know. It's really all I needed to hear, so it will run. Like I said, it's got a ton of junk in it. It's probably going to blow a whole big old smoke screen whenever I get it running here. First order of business, drain the tank. Let me get it on the bench. We'll take the tank off, drain it out. I'll find a spring for it, fix the spring and the whole carb deal, and see if it'll run after that. If it runs after that, we'll go ahead and move forward in fixing the handle, giving it a cleaning, oil change, that bolt that I mentioned, and we'll be done, hopefully. All right, so actually let me show you this concoction that was in the gas tank. That's what was in there. It's about That's not a 50-50 oil gas mix. That's about 80-20 if I were to guess. I got most of it out. I'm going to dilute the rest of it with gas. And I think I found a spring. We'll see if this one works. If not, I'll find us another one in my box of springs. But I'm just going to put this back on for right now. And we're going to just slide it back on to the front of the engine there. And is that the spring that we need? I don't think it is, but we maybe can make it work. I have another one that may work. Let me check. Let's see. Oh, this might be it. Yeah, I think this was the actual spring that goes on these. Why do I have one? Because most of these are not like this. Oh yeah, we can definitely make this one work. I'll just pull it really far forward. We'll have some decent tension there, and it'll work out okay. Yeah, probably a little bit too fast there. We'll close that up a little bit so it doesn't fall off. Okay, let's put the bolts back in now. Just a 1/2 inch bolt. Right there. And 3/8 on this side. Don't cross thread them. If you impact it on, be easy. Because you don't want to break off the tab. For the air filter. Let me put some gas in it, get it down, and we'll give it a test run. So at the time of me filming, we're actually keeping my fiance's parents' dog named Brownie. She's about 14 years old, a border collie mix. Her hips start to hurt her. She can't really walk very well anymore, but she still gets around. We just got her on the lead out here so she can enjoy the nice outdoors. So I've got it away from Brownie, and we're going to crank this thing up. I'm going to actually put it to the side here. And Brownie and I are going to show y'all, hopefully, this thing runs. And I will move the discharge chute away so that she doesn't get kicked by anything. You ready, Brownie? You ready? So nothing atypical here. I will replace the carb diaphragm in it. Y'all have seen me do that 1,000 times. So Brownie's gonna supervise me. I'll replace that, and hopefully that'll cure our issue. It's priming great. I have to push that tab all the way down because that spring's a little bit longer than it needs to be, but we'll get it running at a good RPM for the buyer. Let me do that. I'll come right back. Alright, y'all, we've got Brownie watching over there. New diaphragms in. This thing should run now. Let's see. Of course, the smoke's rolling in the direction of the dog, but it's thinned out by the time it's gotten to her. Just need to figure out the. It's running fine. It's just running slow. I just need to figure out the throttle situation. I think I can make the spring work. Let me see. Makes it run even slower. Alright, so let's see. Let's see what I can do here. Just stretch it out. Let me cut it. Give me a second. This will be a little bit more spring action. I don't know what happened to that residual, but That is definitely better. Might see if I can shorten it up just a little bit more. Just so you can get some throttle adjustment to it. There we go. Get out of the way. Gotta find that other piece of spring real quick. Off a little bit more. That's about right. Let me get it back in the garage here, and I'll work on the handle deal. I'll show you what I do to that. Alright guys, step one on this setup mower, like some of the newer Craftsmans and whatnot, I'll probably sharpen the blade, just give it a nice little edge before I send it as well on the blade, is there's this little hole right here that attaches to the adjustment mechanism. That it was missing the 3/8 bolt, so it was just sliding on the little guides here and starting to wear into it. So what I did is I put a bolt into it. It may compromise your ability to set it on the lowest setting of the mower, but nobody's going to cut their grass. Nobody's cutting Bermuda with a regular standard push mower. So that's the only compromise that it makes. If you found like a screw type head, then that would solve your issue. So that's the way that it is on both sides. Let me turn it over. So I just took some cheap hardware, 8mm, went right in there, just bent up this so that the nut didn't go anywhere. And that should solve my issue of the handle going up and down so much. So it's still moving a little bit, but it's not moving that bad on the housing. That's just a poor design flaw in these, is that they're going to do that. Now what I'm going to do is secure the handle itself to the housing so that we don't have two different pivot points working against you as you're cutting. So let me grab a drill bit. I'm going to drill. There's already provisions, it's just not in this lawnmower, for a hole here. And I'm going to get a nut and a bolt that fit this hole. And we will have a push mower that works with a handle that's not moving nearly as much as it is now. I do need to get this string out. Once I do that, I'll show you the finished product, and then I'll change the oil, clean it up, and we will call this one good. So before I show you what I did to the handle, I wanted to show you that this is definitely some waterlogged oil. I mean, you can just see how milky it looks. Not good. So what I did with the handle is I just drilled a 3/8 inch bolt hole through it and stuck a bolt, and that helped everything. Still got a little play down here on the bottom, but that's just the way that these wheel mechanisms are. They have a little bit of play in them for the most part, despite putting that bolt in. But it's much more acceptable than it was. Before, it was not acceptable. So I'm draining it out. I'm going to fix this pull rope here. You'll see me do that a lot of times too. And find a third bolt for this thing, and sharpen the blade, clean it up, and I'll let y'all know when I finish. Alright y'all, this one's all done. Pretty easy overall. Looks good. These red Murray paint schemes really hold up pretty well over the course of the years. And red sells, y'all know it. Resale red, right? That's what Pate's Performance says. So that's what this one is. Probably a $75 to $80 mower. Probably list it for $80. Looks good. Runs good. It's got a lot of oil from where it's been turned over and turned all which way. I've been trying to burn it off and whatnot. It's not using any oil, obviously, because there's plenty of it in there. What we do? Spring, sharpen the blade. I actually changed the blade out because the one on it was a universal, and I can use those on the MTDs, and those are much more common. So I put an AYP Craftsman blade on it to accommodate the blade key. Pull rope, new oil, squeezed out the oil in the air filter, runs good. Like I said, that spring, fix the handle with those bolts, and we're good to go. So let me give you all a final run here before I sell this one off to the one of 3 people that are waiting on a lawnmower from me. Just kidding, just kidding. Runs really good. So let's end this before I get dumped on by rain. Hopefully it does not. You can hear a little bit of that old oil still baking in there. I tried to wash it off as good as I can, but there was a ton of it. So I've had it running a good 15 minutes already. It's perfect. So gas cap's a little bit loose, but it is staying on, so I will leave it as is because I do not have a good gas cap here for this type of gas tank. So thank you all for watching as always, and we got this one fixed. This is like I said, number 6 of that lot of 35, and the videos after this one are just going to be cranking out push mowers, get them gone during this busy time of the year. And I think we're going to make out really well with this lot. I just need to get them fixed, honestly. So thank you again for watching. We got this Murray push mower going. Should be sold without even listing it, so we'll see what happens. And hope y'all enjoyed it, and I will catch y'all on the next one. See you then.